The lead producer of Zenless Zone Zero, Zhenyu Li, has gone around and done multiple interviews with several news sites in which he has divulged a lot of crucial information about the type of gacha game Zenless Zone Zero will be. There are a lot of talks about his design philosophy, how they'll respond to feedback, and most importantly, what they have planned for the future. I am trying to summarize 4 or so interviews, and they have a lot of overlap. So I'll start off with a few interesting things that Zhenyu Li says about the development of the game. It turns out that Zenless Zone Zero has been in development since 2020. Whether this is pre or post the Genshin launch isn't specified, and the dev team has grown to around 400 people during this time over the last 4 years, a lot of them being very talented and respected individuals in the industry. Zhenyu Li comments on how talented artists suddenly stopped posting online for a while, only for the fans to see their names in the credits on MiHoYo projects a few months down the line, which is funny because it reminds me of the artist of Golden Glow from Arknights, and how her designer couldn't talk about Golden Glow or say that they designed her, despite many people, mistakenly saying, oh, she has canine ears instead of feline ears, and she just had to sit there and take all of that in until Golden Glow ran as a featured character on the banner on Arknights. 2 whole years after the initial debut in the story. Zhenyu Li says that they want to give the same quality to character designs as Genshin, but in my opinion they already have far exceeded that already. He does say that they're focusing on quality rather than quantity, and I think it does show in the designs overall and the overall aesthetics of the game. Also in the interview he mentions no plans for XPs, aiming to keep the game original and fresh. So for you Raiden Mei lovers, you won't see her in this game, but you have 4 other versions to play with. As long as I like my Genshin and Honkai XPs, having a separate IP from the Honkai verse is quite refreshing, while still having, the MiHoYo guarantee, of fat funding from all our gambling and spending and decent quality assurance. Great relative to Kura games at least. In terms of the design philosophy, Zenless Zone Zero's lead designer Zhenyu Li's vision for the game is quick-paced, stylish combat that finds enjoyment in simplicity. He's dumped thousands of hours into Street Fighter, and that shaped a lot of his thoughts going into designing Zenless Zone Zero's combat. He added secret combo attacks that can only be unlocked by putting certain characters together in the same team, and certain combo moves as well between characters, which would reward people for trying out different teams and experimenting with the team composition. Team diversity is something I quite enjoy, which is why I tend to pull for more characters rather than pulling for more weapons or copies of the same character, as you can see in my Honkai Star Rail account. So as someone who enjoys tinkering with teams, this is fantastic. I'm very glad to have the correct mindset going in, because it means that the game is built on a solid foundation, and that we'll be eating good in the future too. Also, it seems like the game focus on the multi-character system and the way the characters remain in the field after you switch, which is why they settled on a party of 3 instead of 4. I like this too, because personally I think 3 is the perfect team member count for an action RPG. You see it in Xenoblade, you see it in Honkai Impact 3rd, you see it in Project Grey Raven, because it gives you enough opportunities for team synergies and combos while still making each member of the team feel important individually. The developers are committed to listening to feedback and ready to make significant changes if necessary, especially regarding the time commitment required to keep up with the new content. Currently, Zenless Zone Zero falls between Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail in terms of the time needed according to Zhenyu Li, but this could evolve based on player input. This is perfect, because although I love how little Honkai Star Rail takes up, it does leave me wanting something a bit more, like a full meal instead of the small snack that I get from Honkai Star Rail. They're also considering adding an auto battle feature if it fits in the game design, and are planning to add further exploration and gameplay and casual modes, which is fantastic. Little things like mini games and shops are what make the world lively, and I'm glad they're committed to keep expanding that aspect of the game. They already proved this by making many changes between CBT2 and CBT3, especially the TV world. Pretty much everyone who played both CBTs has said that there's been a lot of effort into tweaking the TV feature, which is one of the core features in the game according to the lead producer. This is a good start, and I do hope they take Honkai Star Rail's approach of responding to player feedback. If they do, the game will definitely succeed in the long term. You've seen how much stuff they give us in Honkai Star Rail in terms of quality of life and changing the difficulty according to what we ask for. Zenless Zone Zero aims to be accessible, easy to pick up for new players but still challenging enough for veterans. They want to introduce very difficult challenges right from the start. The producer said that the game will slowly teach you the basics, like attacking, dodging, and then slowly incorporate like aspects of parrying, swapping, stunning the enemy, doing perfect evades, doing combo attacks, stuff like that. And then on higher difficulties you get feint attacks, and then enemies, bosses will have harder attack patterns, requiring players to have quick reaction times and sharp skills. This approach is inspired by Zhenyu Li's time playing Street Fighter, and him wanting to slowly ease the players into the game's mechanics if they haven't played many action RPGs before. Especially if you're playing on mobile as well, but it helps starting slow because you're relearning a lot of the mechanics. I really do hope they add more complex bosses. Maybe the special movesets only present in the challenging mode. I really do hope they add more complex bosses with different mechanics and unique attack patterns. Maybe the special movesets exclusive to the more challenging mode of the Zenless Zone Zero, like how Terraria's expert mode works, with bosses getting a second phase and a special attack pattern getting more ferocious if you up the difficulty. The development team is also avoiding excessive special effects to maintain visual clarity during combat, which they do say is crucial for an action-focused game. They're paying a lot of attention to the visual aspects of the game to make sure the combat is good, because if you have many effects on screen, it's very hard to follow the combat. Also, quality of life features are designed to fit Zenless Zone Zero, although there might be overlap with other MiHoYo games like Honkai Star Rail and Genshin, which makes sense because Zenless Zone Zero shares a lot of features with both games, but still at the end of the day it's quite different. And I'm glad they're taking a more holistic approach with Zenless Zone Zero's quality of life features. The artistic direction and environment in Zenless Zone Zero are being developed with a melting point approach, creating a diverse and immersive urban world. The commercial district is a new addition that they're adding, offering players a vibrant area to explore and interact with. Music is also a massive aspect of Zenless Zone Zero, with the developers incorporating dubstep and EDM style electronic music. The game even has a record store that you run, and the weapons like the W engines are designed as audio devices that protect you from the holo. So it's very music based from that aesthetic. Also, the lead producer Zhenyu Li, who's doing the interview, and the music director, they often attend raves together, with Zhenyu Li taking the visual aspects of the rave, while the music director focuses on the musical part, obviously the music. I think the image of like two high-ranking managers on MiHoYo going on company card on the company's budget, going on raves together, it's quite funny, especially in the interview. It's kind of presented as some sort of research they're doing for the game. I mean, maybe it is research, I don't know, I'm not a game dev. And finally, in the last interview, they do mention that they're going to try to bring Zenless Zone Zero to Nintendo Switch and the Xbox, ensuring the game reaches a wider audience. Not all of gachas actually do this. Most of them either launch on PC Mobile and PS4, and that's pretty much it. You don't see many on Switch and Xbox. And I think Zenless Zone Zero doing that makes them stand out and access an entire untapped market, which I hope they do for the other games as well, to expand their reach. MiHoYo is definitely trying to capture as much of the gacha market as possible now. They have a lot of money, a lot of funding, 2 cash cows now with Honkai Star Rail and Genshin Impact. So they have a lot of money. They're even working on a nuclear reactor, apparently funding it partially with other companies. A bit interesting. And that's basically what we got from the interview so far. If you want more Zenless Zone Zero news, guides, hit the subscribe button and join the Discord so you can stay ahead of the curve. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.